The ship was dying. The last remnants of Asgard drifted in the void, torn apart, burning from within. Fires spread along the shattered hull, flickering against the infinite blackness of space. Survivors huddled together, trembling in fear as heavy, metallic footsteps echoed through the corridors. The Black Order had arrived. Ebony Maw moved like a shadow, his hands gently folded behind his back, his face expressionless. Behind him, Proxima Midnight and Cull Obsidian dragged the bodies of fallen Asgardians aside with casual indifference. And at the center of it all, Thanos. He stood tall, bathed in the eerie glow of burning consoles, his golden armor catching the dim light. His massive hands slowly turned the Tesseract, the last remaining fragment of Asgard's legacy, rolling it between his fingers like a mere trinket. Before him, Loki and Thor knelt, bound in chains, both beaten and bloodied. Thor, gasping for breath, glared up at the mad Titan. You will never win. Thanos smiled. I already have. He tightened his grip, the Tesseract cracking, then shattering, revealing the glowing blue space stone within. Loki's eyes darted between the stone and Thanos' monstrous fingers. The universe had never felt so fragile. Thanos reached for Thor's throat, lifting him effortlessly. Your people are gone, Asgardian. Your time is over. Thor struggled, his breath wheezing. He felt his bones creak under the sheer power of Thanos' grip. Then, everything stopped. A new sound echoed through the ship, a deep, pulsing hum. The air rippled like reality itself was being stretched. Thanos slowly turned. A tear in space, an unnatural writhing portal ripped open behind him, and from it a ship emerged, a vessel unlike anything Thor, Loki, or even Thanos had ever seen. It was massive, sleek yet menacing, made of shifting black metal, as if it existed outside of time itself, and standing on its bridge, looking down upon them with cold, calculating eyes. Kang the Conqueror had arrived. The ship's hull shifted, morphing, bending physics around itself. A deep, reverberating voice cut through the silence. Thanos of Titan. Kang stepped forward, descending from his ship as if gravity did not apply to him. His armor was adorned with intricate, shifting symbols, not of this universe. Thanos straightened, his expression unreadable. I do not know you. Kang smirked. You will. Then, in an instant, he moved. A flick of his wrist and time collapsed. Thor, still struggling under Thanos' grip, was suddenly standing 10 feet away, free. His chains had vanished. Loki stumbled backward, his bindings gone. The entire ship was frozen, except for Kang, Thanos, and the two brothers. Thor's eyes widened. He didn't understand. Then, pain. A burning, searing pain in his chest. He looked down. Kang's hand was inside him. Not a blade, not a weapon. Just pure energy, vibrating through his body, tearing him apart at a molecular level. Thor gasped. I have seen your future, Kang whispered, and you are not in it. Then, with a flick of his wrist, Thor exploded into dust. Loki screamed. Thanos' eyes narrowed. He did not mourn, but he understood. You are powerful, Thanos admitted, but you are reckless. Kang tilted his head. Reckless, I am inevitable. Then, he raised a hand. Thanos barely had time to react before he was on his knees, pinned by an invisible force. Ebony Maw, Proxima, and Cull Obsidian fell to the floor, immobilized. Loki staggered backward. His mind screamed at him to run. Kang studied Thanos for a long moment. I know your ambitions, Titan. You wish to balance the universe, to be its savior. He leaned closer. That is small thinking. Thanos clenched his fists. You think yourself above me? Kang smiled. I do not think. I know. He raised his hand, ready to erase Thanos from existence. Then Loki acted. With a desperate flick of his wrist, he summoned a dagger and lunged. He knew it wouldn't work. He knew Kang was beyond him. But he had to try. Kang turned, just slightly. And that was enough. Thanos, seizing the distraction, forced himself to move. With sheer willpower, he shattered Kang's hold on him, summoning his double-edged blade in a blink. He swung, Kang dodged, but it was enough. Thanos, Loki, and the Black Order vanished in a flash of energy, teleporting away. Kang stood still, watching them go. He did not chase. He did not need to. Instead, he turned his gaze toward the ruined ship, the dying remnants of Asgard's people, and he smiled. One timeline falls, another will rise. The statesman was erased, not destroyed, not broken, erased from existence. Kang turned back toward his ship. Now, onto Earth. Aboard the Sanctuary 2, Thanos sat in silence, staring out at the void, his hands clenched into fists. Loki watched him carefully. You saw what he did. You saw what he's capable of. Thanos remained quiet. Then, slowly, he turned to Ebony Maw. Prepare the fleet. Ebony Maw frowned. To attack. Thanos shook his head. No, we are going to Earth. Proxima Midnight stiffened. To fight the Avengers. Thanos' golden eyes burned. To join them. Loki's lips parted slightly. Even he hadn't seen this coming. Thanos? Joining the Avengers? How deliciously ironic. Thanos did not react to the sarcasm. His voice was cold. This battle is greater than me, greater than my plan. He exhaled. If Kang wins, there will be nothing left to save. The Sanctuary Sektu, Thanos' warship, descended into Earth's atmosphere like a looming specter of destruction. The skies above Wakanda darkened, the glow of the ship's engines casting an eerie red hue over the battlefield below. The Avengers stood ready. Steve Rogers, Black Panther, Black Widow, Bruce Banner, and the Wakandan army watched in silence as the behemoth hovered above them. Sam Wilson adjusted his wings. Tell me we're not about to fight another space warlord. Rhodey tensed, because the first one went so well. Bruce Banner, standing inside the Hulkbuster armor, clenched his fists. If that's Thanos, we're dead. T'Challa stepped forward, his face unreadable. We fight, no matter the cost. The ship's hangar doors opened. A single figure descended onto the battlefield, landing with a heavy thud. A towering, armored titan. But this time, he did not come as a conqueror. This time Thanos came as a warning. He raised both hands, empty, open, a gesture of surrender. The Avengers froze. No one had expected this. Then the warlord spoke. We have no time for foolishness. His deep voice rumbled like thunder. I have come to offer an alliance. Silence. Then, Steve Rogers stepped forward. Why would we ever trust you? Thanos' golden eyes flickered with something unreadable. Because you will not survive what is coming. It's not you. Inside Shuri's lab, the remaining Avengers stood across from Thanos, Loki, and the Black Order. Tension was thick. Rocket Raccoon sat on a table, arms crossed, tail flicking. Let me get this straight. You expect us to fight with you? Thanos nodded. If you value your existence, yes. Doctor Strange narrowed his eyes. And why should we believe you? Loki leaned forward, smirking. Because I was there when Kang killed my brother. His voice was quiet, cold. Peter Parker, standing beside Tony Stark, looked up in shock. Thor is gone? Loki's expression never wavered, and the Guardians. Rocket's ears flattened, his hands clenched into fists. What? Thanos stepped forward, towering over them all. Kang is not like me. His voice was low, controlled, but full of something none of them had ever heard before: fear. He does not seek balance. He does not seek power. He turned to Stark. You once feared that I would destroy half the universe, but Kang will not stop at half. He will take everything. Tony exhaled sharply. Yeah, sorry. I'm still trying to get over the fact that you're not trying to kill us. Loki smirked. Believe me, Stark. Even Thanos knows when to kneel. Steve shook his head. And what? You expect us to work together? Thanos met his gaze. If we do not, then all of this, your victories, your sacrifices will mean nothing. The timeline will collapse. There will be nothing left to avenge. For a long moment, nobody spoke. Then, Tony sighed, rubbing his temples. Jesus, okay, let's hear him out. Before they could formulate a plan, the sky tore open. A massive temporal rift ripped across the Wakandan skyline, distorting the air, sending shockwaves across the battlefield. Then, they saw him. Kang's warship materialized, bending space as it arrived, and from its hull, his army descended. They were not Chitauri. They were not Outriders. They were temporal enforcers, beings from shattered timelines, warriors from broken realities where Kang had already won. And leading them was Kang himself. He hovered above them, arms folded behind his back, his piercing gaze scanning the battlefield. Then he spoke. Thanos, Avengers. You were never meant to win. He raised a hand, and reality itself warped. Time froze and rewound. Buildings repaired themselves only to collapse again. The very fabric of existence twisted under his control. Then, with a flick of his wrist, Wakanda exploded into chaos. The battle erupted. Captain America and Black Panther led the charge, striking down Kang's warriors. Iron Man and Shuri worked together, trying to counter Kang's technology. Doctor Strange battled Kang in the sky, shifting between dimensions. Loki and Scarlet Witch combined their magic, but even they struggled against Kang's control over time. Thanos fought at the front lines, side by side with the Avengers. For the first time in history, the Mad Titan wasn't their greatest enemy. But even together, they were losing. Kang was too strong. He ripped open time itself, summoning alternate versions of fallen warriors. A past version of Ultron, a corrupted Steve Rogers, a monstrous, half-mechanical Thor. The battlefield became a war across realities. Tony's HUD glitched wildly as time loops fractured around them. This guy is breaking reality. Steve barely blocked an attack, gritting his teeth. Then we need to end this now. Thanos, bleeding from a dozen wounds, turned to Strange. We need the stones. Strange hesitated. If we use them carelessly. Thanos grabbed him by the collar. There is no future if he wins. Strange clenched his jaw. He knew Thanos was right. And so, one last time, the Avengers gathered the stones. Thanos raised his hand, but before he could snap, Kang appeared behind him. Did you really think it would be that easy? A single punch to the chest. A shockwave of time distortion. And then, Thanos was gone, erased. The battlefield froze. Kang held the gauntlet in his hand. He smiled. Fools. You were always fighting the wrong war. The Avengers stared in horror. Then, Kang raised his hand, and the multiverse cracked. Time was breaking. The sky above Wakanda rippled like shattered glass, fragments of different realities bleeding into one another. The Infinity Gauntlet once the most powerful weapon in existence, now rested on Kang's hand. And with a single thought, he erased Thanos from existence. The battlefield fell silent. The Mad Titan was gone. Kang stood above them all, victorious. His gaze swept over the remaining Avengers. Iron Man, Captain America, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Loki, all wounded, beaten. He raised his hand. You were never meant to win. Then he snapped his fingers. A pulse of energy erupted from the gauntlet. Reality twisted. The Avengers vanished. The battlefield crumbled into nothingness. The universe was his. Or so he thought. When Tony Stark opened his eyes, he was not in Wakanda. He was somewhere wrong. The air was thick with static, like reality was unstable. The landscape was a mix of broken memories, fragments of destroyed cities, floating ruins, echoes of voices long gone. What the hell? He turned, only to see Steve Rogers struggling to stand. Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch appeared next, clutching their heads in pain. The rest of the Avengers slowly materialized. Loki looked around, his face grim. This is not good. Doctor Strange, breathing heavily, stared at the horizon. He didn't kill us. He displaced us. Steve frowned. Where are we? Strange's eyes darkened. We're outside time itself. The realization hit them all at once. Kang had broken reality, and they were now stranded in the ruins of what once was. Then, a voice echoed through the void. A voice none of them expected to hear again. Did you really think he could erase me? The Avengers turned, and from the darkness, stepping through a tear in time itself, Thanos returned. But he was different. He was wounded, his armor scorched, but his eyes burned with something new. I have seen the end of everything. He looked at them all, and I refused to let it happen. Kang was not omniscient. He had not anticipated Thanos would survive, and he certainly had not expected the Mad Titan to side with the Avengers once more. Thanos stepped forward. Kang believes himself to be a god, but he is a fool. He turned to Strange. You are the sorcerer. You understand time better than any of us. Doctor Strange nodded. I can open a door, a path back to the main timeline, but we need something strong enough to undo the snap. Tony Stark frowned. What are you suggesting? Strange exhaled. A new gauntlet. They all turned to Thanos. The Infinity Forge, he said. Steve narrowed his eyes. That's not real. Loki smirked. Oh, it is. And it could work. Thanos turned toward the ruins of a collapsing Asgard, frozen in time. We must go to Nidavellir. We will forge a new gauntlet, and we will take back the stones. Tony crossed his arms. All right, let's say we pull this off. We build this thing. What then? We go one-on-one with the guy who already beat us? Thanos' lips curled into a grin. No. We go to war. As the Avengers and Thanos arrived on Nidavellir, the dwarves of old were frozen in time, the forges of creation trapped in a loop of endless silence. Eitri, the last dwarf king, stood frozen in horror. Thanos reached out, breaking the temporal hold on the forge. Wake up, dwarf, Eitri gasped, his massive hands trembling. Thanos, you dare return? There is no time for vengeance. Thanos cut him off. The forge must burn once more. Eitri hesitated. Then, seeing the desperation in all of them, he nodded. Then let us begin. With one final strike, the forge roared to life, and a new gauntlet was born. This time it was forged from Uru, the same material as Mjolnir, as Stormbreaker. A gauntlet fit for a god. And as Thanos slid his hand into it, he exhaled. Now. We take back what was stolen. Doctor Strange raised his hands, opening a portal back to the heart of the broken timeline. And they stepped through, into the final battle. Kang sat upon a throne made of shifting timelines, watching as reality fractured and reformed before him. When the Avengers arrived, he did not rise. Back so soon? He asked, amused. Thanos stepped forward. Your reign ends here. Kang laughed. Oh, Titan, you still do not understand. I did not take this power to rule. I took it to ensure none of you ever existed. He raised the Infinity Gauntlet. The battle erupted. Iron Man and Black Panther fought Kang's endless army. Loki battled alternate versions of himself. Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch warped the battlefield, trying to contain Kang's power. Captain America wielded Mjolnir once more, striking against Kang's warriors. And at the center of it all, Thanos and Kang collided. Fist met, gauntlet. Reality bent and cracked as they fought, two gods clashing at the end of time. Kang smirked. You cannot kill me, Titan. Thanos grinned. I don't have to. With a single motion, he tore the gauntlet off Kang's hand. Kang's eyes widened. No. Thanos raised his own gauntlet. I am inevitable. Then he snapped. Light exploded outward. The broken timeline repaired itself. Kang screamed as he was erased from existence. The Avengers gasped as time rewound, placing them back where they were before the war began, as if none of it had ever happened. Thanos stood at the center of it all, the gauntlet crumbling in his hand. He exhaled. Then, looking at Stark, he smirked. It seems we were on the same side after all. Tony chuckled. God, I hate that. Then, Thanos vanished. As the dust settled, Doctor Strange frowned. Something's wrong. A single crack in reality. A single voice whispering from the void. You think this is over? The multiverse has only begun to break.